Right now, the ongoing legal challenges facing both Quintez Cephas, his attorneys, and the UW as they decide whether to reinstate him.
And some Wisconsin newlyweds are without their wedding photos after a local photographer is targeted by thieves. Her plea to those responsible coming up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us as former Badger wide receiver Quintez Cephas awaits UW-Madison's final word on if it's allowing him back. One Madison attorney is offering some insight on what goes into that decision.
Madeline O'Neill continues to follow this story with legal insight on what might come next. Maddie?
Charlotte and Eric defense attorney Chris Van Wagner isn't associated with this case, but tells us from his experience defending UW-Madison students in disciplinary hearings that the process following sexual assault allegations at the university doesn't give those falsely accused a fighting chance. About 1 in 4 women are sexually assaulted in college, with many assaults going unreported. When they are, attorney Chris Van Wagner says UW-Madison students accused of sexual assault on campus don't get their day in court, with hearings he says are stacked against them because of how the university has interpreted Title IX rulings.
This rush to expel people to provide a safe space for accusers is inevitably tipped in favor of the accuser and therefore severely tramples the rights and the futures of many young men.
He says often expelled students don't request readmission.
This is a very unusual situation.
When determining whether or not to reinstate Quintez Cephas, who's asking for readmission to UW after being found not guilty of sexually assaulting 2 young women, Van Wagner believes UW will have to look at how the decision might affect others.
They have to stop and think, how many other young men have we sent packing who now can come back and say, you have to let me back too?
He thinks the university will also have to consider a potential civil lawsuit.
Quintez Cephas has the best lawyers in the country when it comes to suing universities for violations of their rights.
UW-Madison makes it clear its code of student conduct is separate from criminal law. And as the director of the Rape Crisis Center told us immediately following the not guilty verdicts, even a court verdict doesn't prove innocence in everyone's minds.
I was disappointed, but I was not surprised. You can't continue to be surprised when such a small percentage of perpetrators ever are convicted.
I'm saying those who are falsely accused. Those are the people who pay the price.
Van Wagner says what happened with Cephas may shed a light on future cases like this.
Maybe this will be the wake-up call for UW that they have to inject more fairness into the process.
A letter from Cephas's former teammates to Chancellor Rebecca Blank asking for Cephas's reinstatement says it's their understanding that she's currently in Hawaii. UW officials wouldn't confirm that, but said in a statement today that she's fully engaged on the issue and ready to act as soon as university staff completes their review. Of course, this is a story we'll continue following.
Maddie, thank you.
You're welcome.
The trial against a semi-driver accused of crashing into a school bus packed with children while under the influence of prescription drugs is expected to last the rest of the week. Wayne Murphy facing 46 charges in all. 10 of those counts are felony charges. Today in court, a state trooper testified, as well as one of the students who was inside that bus when it was hit last May along the interstate in Columbia County. We do expect Murphy himself to testify about what caused him to crash later this week. It has now been 3 years since violent protesters stormed the streets of Milwaukee's Sherman Park neighborhood. It was in response to the officer-involved shooting death of 23-year-old Seville Smith. Over 3 days, violence and chaos erupted. Several businesses, along with a BP gas station, were torched. Dominique Hagan Brown, the former officer who was charged for Smith's death, was found not guilty. He is serving time in jail for other charges.
FEMA and Wisconsin emergency management crews have begun preliminary damage assessments in 18 counties that were hit hard last month by severe storms and tornadoes. Just last week, Green Bay had its first confirmed tornado since 2005. The damage assessments are the first step in potentially requesting a federal disaster declaration to help reimburse communities. A few showers around Madison today, but nothing severe. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our first alert forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. We had some showers, even a few thunderstorms with some brief heavy downpours, but the severe weather has stayed out to the west of us across parts of Iowa and Minnesota. So we take a look at weather track. Thunderstorms that developed in Minnesota and Iowa have now moved into southwestern Wisconsin, but have weakened quite a bit. You can see them basically from just to the east of Viroqua down to east of Prairie du Chien and down to around Lancaster. A lot of lightning is even going away from those storms. High temperatures today generally in the lower to middle 80s. It was a little cooler north and east of Madison. Current temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s to the lower 70s, but dew point temperatures are still in the 60s to around 70 degrees. Fog is forming in a few spots. So far, nothing widespread. By tomorrow morning, there could be some patchy areas of fog. A few showers will continue overnight with low temperatures in the lower 60s. Tomorrow will be a cooler day with a high of 70. We'll see a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. F-35 jets are in Wisconsin right now. It's for the annual Northern Lightning Counterland exercise at Volk Field, and we're getting a closer look at the jet that may soon call Madison home. The world's most advanced aircraft, including the F-35, F-22s, and F-16s, are all at Volk Field for the next week and a half to participate in this joint exercise, replicating today's air battle space. In February of next year, we expect to hear a final decision on whether the F-35 will come to Truax Field here in Madison, replacing the F-16s that are currently being flown there. So what makes the jet so special? Pilot Zachary Clements has flown both the F-16 and the F-35.
F-16, everybody saw me from, hundreds of miles away probably, and so they could shoot me really whenever they wanted to. And in the F-35, they cannot see you, and if they can see you, they can't really shoot at you until it's way late, and by that time you have already taken multiple shots against them.
He says the F-16 was built 30 years ago, so the F-35 is simply more advanced, comparing it to flying a supercomputer that can continue to be upgraded. As for them coming to Madison, we are still in the public comment period where you can submit comments online. There will also be a community meeting on September 12th at the Alliant Energy Center.
In Rock County, police are training to respond to an active shooting situation. The training took place both today and tomorrow at Marshall Middle School in Janesville and focuses on things like rapid response and providing quick care to victims. Officers say training like this creates muscle memory and helps with real emergencies. At the state capitol, Republican lawmakers are circulating a package of bills designed to improve access to mental health services. One of the representatives introducing the bill, Paul Tittle, said the proposals are not a reaction to recent mass shootings. The bills would make matching grant money available for mental health centers and nonprofits across the state. It would also provide a tax deduction for psychiatrists who practice in underserved areas. Hundreds of Wisconsin business and policy professionals are in Madison for the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce Policy Day.
In a keynote address, Governor Tony Evers talked about the need for business leaders to embrace diversity.
Just my observation, the state of Wisconsin has a lot of people that look like me and are about as old as me. And I can also guarantee you that with that background, we're not going to have enough people.
The governor said we need to bring new people into the state to avoid a worker shortage. To draw them to Wisconsin, Governor Evers mentioned we need to invest in quality of life issues like good health care, natural resources, clean drinking water, and our infrastructure.
A couple in Milwaukee and a local photographer are making a plea tonight. After the wedding this weekend, the photos are gone, stolen, along with the cameras used to shoot them. Amy Reed joins us now to explain what happened.
It's been a hard few days for everyone involved, but now the newlyweds and the photographer have a message. Whoever took the cameras and caused this mess, please have a heart and at the very least, return what matters.
Chelsea and Alex will remember the day forever.
It was everything we dreamed of and more. We were floating on cloud 9, obviously. It was just the happiest day of our lives.
But the memories they hope to save and the photos that captured them are gone.
You know, it's family, it's heirlooms. I just want to make sure that they get it back.
Erica Diaz was their photographer. After she got back from the wedding, she dropped her rental car back at the Enterprise on Odana Road, not realizing her camera bag filled with $15,000 worth of camera equipment and nearly all the photos from the wedding was still inside.
Trying to recover my equipment. Nobody could find it. The bag is completely gone. It's not there anymore.
None of the businesses around the car rental shop nor the shop itself have security cameras to see what happened. Enterprise didn't get back to us, but the company told her they're talking to their employees to see if they can track the bag down. So far, nothing has turned up.
This is our livelihood. Like, this is what I do. So please, 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 if you have my stuff, I beg you, please just return my stuff and the memories and everything from Alex and Chelsea, please.
Erica said she's not interested in pressing charges. Her priority is getting priceless memories back to her clients. They beg the same.
We are just holding out so much hope that we'll get those photos back. It would just mean everything to us to have those pictures.
Erica and the couple have set up a P.O. box for whoever took the gear and the photos to at least send the cards back. Luckily, there was a second photographer who was able to grab some behind-the-scenes shots, and until anyone has heard anything on the original photos, Erica has offered to redo any shots she can for the couple.
The Wisconsin State Fair says this year's event set a modern-day attendance record. Organizers say 1.1 million people visited the 11-day fair that ended Sunday in West Dallas, the 7th straight year that attendance topped 1 million. Officials say the only fair in the 168-year history of the event reporting higher attendance was back in 1948. In that year, the fair was 23 days long in celebration of Wisconsin's centennial. Still ahead at 10, an interleague border battle tonight at Miller Park between the Brewers and the Minnesota Twins.
But first, changes are being made in the wake of Jeffrey Epstein's apparent suicide. An update on the investigation when we come back. Welcome back. As the Justice Department investigates the circumstances surrounding accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein's apparent suicide, changes are being made at the jail where he died. The top official at the Metropolitan Correctional Center is being temporarily reassigned. 2 workers assigned to Epstein's unit are also on administrative leave. Attorney General William Barr ordered the move after speaking out about irregularities at the New York prison. The federal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein is continuing after his death. Federal officials were seen on his private Caribbean island this week. An FBI spokeswoman confirmed the agent's presence in the Virgin Islands was related to Epstein. The accused sex trafficking ringleader died Saturday in a New York jail cell in an apparent suicide.
You now have until December 15th to buy holiday gifts before they get hit with a 10% tariff. President Trump announced earlier this month the new import tax impacting some $300 billion in goods from China starting on September 1st. But today it was announced it has been delayed until mid-December. Unlike last year's tariffs on mostly industrial materials, this round was supposed to target items like cell phones, toys, and clothes. Regal Cinemas is rolling out a plan that lets you watch as many movies as you want, as many times as you want, whenever you want. Regal Unlimited. Those plans range in price from $18 to $23 a month, depending on where you live. But it gives you the ability to watch unlimited movies at select Regal theaters around the U.S. The nearest ones are in Northern Illinois. The plan runs through the Regal app on your phone and requires a year-long commitment.
Coca-Cola will soon be offering some new flavors with fall and winter in mind. By the middle of next month, the soft drink company is planning to launch a version of its iconic soda flavored with cinnamon. And if you're wondering how it tastes, cola aficionados in the UK have already given it a thumbs up. Coke also plans to launch a winter spiced cranberry variant of Sprite at the same time.
Mexico's majestic Popocatépetl volcano erupted twice early this morning under a canopy of stars. About 5:45 local time, the volcano first spewed ash, followed by incandescent rock. And then shortly after sunrise, a new plume of ash and gas emerged from the snow-capped crater, reaching more than 3,000 feet into the sky. Popocatépetl is nearly 18,000 feet tall. That makes it the 5th highest mountain in North America.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti joins us now.
Well, things are starting to settle down. We had some showers and thunderstorms earlier. A few more are starting to sneak into southwestern Wisconsin, but they have been weakening. Let's take a look at Doppler track, and you can see every once in a while there'll be a couple of flashes of lightning, like around just south of Viroqua, but for the most part, these are just heavier rain showers that are moving through pretty quickly. Behind it, there are a few light rain showers to the north, so we'll see some off and on shower chances tonight, and then also the possibility for a shower or a thunderstorm tomorrow. But cooler air will move in as the low pressure system drops over southern Wisconsin. Storm Prediction Center still has a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. There were some stronger storms that produced hail over parts of Minnesota and Iowa earlier this evening, but those storms, like you say, are weakening as they push into southern Wisconsin. Fog might be an issue right now. All the major reporting stations in the state reporting visibilities that are above 10 miles, but we're starting to see some areas of fog form across parts of northern Illinois. We'll see some patchy fog form overnight. Time lapse in the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, kind of interesting. Started out with some early morning fog and clouds and then some sunshine. And then showers started to build up, and watch this one shower. I mean, for about 10 minutes, it just poured in Platteville, and just as quickly it moved on out, and then you can see a couple of thunderheads in the distance. But so far, they've been quiet in Platteville. Those showers coming in from the north and west will reach them over the next hour or so. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Pretty quiet in town right now. Our high temperature today made it up to 81 degrees, low temperature at 66, so a day with above normal temperatures. Right now we're at 67, winds out of the east-southeast at 6 miles per hour, but the dew point is still at 62 degrees. As we check out high temperatures today, they were in the 80s to our south and to our west, mainly 70s across northern Wisconsin. Rhinelander didn't get out of the 60s, and you can see those 60s up to the north. That's the cooler air that'll be dropping southward for tomorrow, keeping our high temperatures around 70 degrees. Current temperatures are in the 60s through most of the state, still some 70s to our south and to our west. But again, you can kind of make out the rotation in the rain showers and the clouds as low pressure right around the Twin Cities drops southeastward. The main jet stream kind of now coming in from the west-northwest, so that will start to bring down a little cooler air from Canada as the main branch of the jet stream starts to push a little bit south of us. So that will allow slightly cooler air to start filling in behind this low pressure system as winds shift around to the north for tomorrow. And you can see behind that cold front, high temperatures today only in the 60s across North Dakota, while much of the rest of the Midwest was in the 80s, and then the heat was pretty much confined to Kansas, where high temperatures were in the 90s again today. But current temperatures are in the 60s. The dew point temperature is still in the low 60s here, but the 70-degree plus dew points are shifting farther to the south, so the humidity levels will also drop as well. As we take a look at future track, you can see a threat for a few scattered showers tonight, maybe a shower or an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow, and then we'll start to clear out tomorrow night and see a little more sunshine as we head into Thursday. Our forecast overnight, mostly cloudy skies. We could still see a few scattered showers, areas of fog, low temperature at 62. Tomorrow, a cooler day with variably cloudy skies, a shower or thunderstorm chance. High temperature, though, only at 70 as winds shift around to the north and northeast. On future track, you can see the shower chances moving out this evening and then maybe redeveloping toward tomorrow morning. Much of the day tomorrow will be dry, just a few hit and miss showers or an isolated thunderstorm. Then skies clear out for tomorrow night. And on Thursday, we'll see mainly sunny skies. I think these shower and thunderstorm chances will be delayed by a little bit, probably not reaching us until Thursday night. Rainfall amounts where it occurs, there could be some heavier thunderstorms that drop, some brief heavy rains. Elsewhere, most areas will probably see less than 1/4 of an inch of rain. But as we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, the temperatures will start going up as we head into the weekend. The best chances of rain probably on Saturday, but after that, temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s. Humidity levels, though, should stay down, so it'll be pretty comfortable, and we should see a fair amount of sunshine for most of next week.
That looks very nice.
It does.
Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
Heading sports, the newest Green Bay Packer had to do some heavy reading before bed last night. Kevin introduces us next in sports.
The Brewers and Twins getting together for some interleague action. The Crew still hanging on in the race for the division and the wild card. The Twins just handed over first place in the AL Central after losing 5 of 6. Quick 2-gamer at Miller Park. Christian Yelich with the Brewers down 4-1 in the 7th. Going off the wall, an RBI double cuts the Twins lead in half. And it's Yasmani Grandal's turn. First pitch swinging. And all of a sudden, the Brewers have a 5-4 lead. Top of the 8th, 2 on. Marwin Gonzalez with 2 outs, taking Josh Hader out. Right now, Twins lead 7-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs and Phillies in Philadelphia. Nicholas Castellanos And a great find for the Cubs. Solo homer ties the game at 2, but Philly would answer. Same score, JT Realmuto. Going to put the Phillies ahead for good. They'd add another and win 4-2. At the moment, the Cubs lead the Cardinals by 1, the Brewers by 2 in the division. The Mallards scored 2 in the first, another in the second, and never looked back, beating the Rafters 6-0 to advance to the Great Lakes Championship game. They'll travel to Traverse City, Michigan to take on the Pit Spitters tomorrow, 6:05 Central. The Packers' backfield's been banged up this preseason. Fullbacks Danny Vitale and Malcolm Williams are dealing with injuries, and Green Bay wasted no time in filling an open roster spot, signing former Jets and Jaguars fullback Tommy Bohannon. Bohannon said he got to his hotel last night and immediately dove into the run and pass sections of the playbook and said he could relate to some of his past schemes. Now he knows there's no time for slow learners in this new offense.
I've played for Coach Hackett before, and the fullback was a main portion of his offense as well. So knowing that and coming in here, I know that the fullback is definitely going to be used, and it's going to be a focal point in the offense. And, you know, I pride myself on my lead blocking and being able to catch out of the backfield, so I'm definitely excited to be here.
I think there's a lot of competition for spots in that room. It's disappointing, you know, both those guys are banged up right now, but Tommy's going to get a good chance coming in.
Wisconsin has to replace 4 of 5 starting offensive linemen from last season, and it's almost like an embarrassment of rebuilding riches, if that's a thing. Most of the returners have legitimate game-time experience. Now it's time for Joel Rudolph to narrow that down to his core group of starters.
And I just think there's great competition, you know, and I wish I could say it was clear-cut, like someone's really separated themselves, but it hasn't happened yet. It's just part of camp. You get to kind of see them in a more pressured moment and see how they execute, how they perform, where they're at now and where they could be, you know, 10 days from now.
NCAA football programs across the country celebrating the 150th year of college football. Wisconsin did it in these beauties to be worn September 28th against Northwestern. A little old school meets new school because they didn't have Under Armour back in the 50s, 40s, 60s. They do now. One more break, and then we will finish the show.
Finally tonight, congratulations is in order for the Mad City ski team, which captured a national championship in Warsaw, Indiana over the weekend. Earned high scores in 5 categories to beat out 14 other teams for that national title. The team is made up of more than 100 members from age 3 to over 60. And this year, Mad City performed a ski version of The Wizard of Oz. If you want to check out that performance, they perform on Lake Monona every Sunday at 6 p.m. through Labor Day weekend.
That's pretty cool.
Congrats to them.
Yeah. Well, of course, you need nice weather in order to be out there on the lakes. Tonight, some showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm, still a possibility. But temperatures are in the middle 60s to around 70. Dew point temperatures are still pretty high, so we're seeing some patchy fog forming, especially over parts of western Wisconsin. Keep that in mind overnight.
Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.